Good news, I would say. The Red Hot Chili Peppers received a star on the Walk of Fame as a band, which is surprising that it's taken this long. I mean, they are one of the most LA bands. They started in LA. Their vibe, their music is very much has an LA feel, a Southern California feel. So them getting a star on the Walk of Fame seems like a no-brainer, coinciding with their new album that just got released, Unlimited Love, which we have Rick Rubin back, we have John Frusciante back in the band, and it's an album that I've been listening to a lot. Was not excited hearing the singles that were released before the full album. Was a little bit worried. They are definitely in an old man phase of their music. But I think this is their best album, in my opinion, since Stadium Arcadium, which I think Stadium Arcadium felt like the turning point in the band's kind of turning into their old man phase. Where it's like a little bit, it's just way more mellow. Despite the fact that this album has definitely some hard licks, but it is definitely more mellow. There's some like nightclub kind of jazz, kind of like mellow, relaxed kind of songs. But I love it. I really do. It took me, I had to listen to it a couple times, as it does when anybody that I love comes out with a new album. Sometimes I have to listen to it multiple times before I can decide if I like it or not. And their two albums before that, not the biggest fan. I'm With You, and I forget the one that they released last was. When they worked with different producers, John Frusciante wasn't in the band. Not a huge fan of those. But this one, I really did love. Aquatic Mouth Dance is, right now, it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's got a lot of Flea playing the trumpet. There's this chaotic horn section at the end of the song that just turns into chaos that I really love. It makes me happy. It's really just kind of the band simplifying things as they've kind of done, which is a style that Rick Rubin and them have together. Like where the vinyl that was released, which I got in the mail yesterday and was listening to yesterday, the vinyl is mastered directly from the tapes. So it's the original mix, no processing, no digital fuckery, and it sounds great. I love the sound of it. I love the songs. I can appreciate how the band has grown and evolved and matured. They still have some hard stuff. You still have Anthony Kiedis with his wacky, weird lyrics, his surreal lyrics in the music, which I'm perfectly fine with. I love their sound. And there's little audio sounds. There's sounds that their instruments make that are unique to them. Like the way they end a song, or the way Frusciante will smash the strings to end a song, or just like little bits of past songs finding their way. It's almost like a Lego sequel in a way, like how movies are taking elements from the previous movies in the franchise and implementing them in a way where they're rebooting themselves, but also having a lot of references to their old music. There's like audio versions of that in this album, which I appreciate as well. But I'm a big fan of it. I understand a lot of people hate the Chili Peppers. They're overrated, whatever. I've heard all the criticism. I do not care. It is the band that I grew up listening to. Like somehow they're alive. They haven't died yet. Knock on whatever keeps people from dying early. They've had their problems, but as far as like a unique sound, like nobody sounds like the Chili Peppers. Nobody does. They've created an original sound that I really appreciate, an original style that I appreciate, and they've never they've changed, they've evolved over the years, but they've never like changed who they were as a band. And I appreciate that. And like Flea is amazing. Flea's in some of the best movies, from like Back to the Future to Baby Driver to The Big Lebowski. Like, he's in so many great movies. Anthony Kiedis is in some movies like Point Break, the original, the only good Point Break. So, you have the Will Ferrell looking like Chad Smith, which is amazing. Tried to get into John Frusciante's solo stuff, couldn't really get into it, but think he's one of the greatest guitar players ever. Like, he's an artist with a guitar, and I love hearing him play. So I'm glad. And then Rick Rubin is, one of the greatest producers in music for a reason. And him with the band, I think they make the best stuff, and this album is a great example of that. So, huge fan of their new album. Check it out if you're a fan of their music, or if you hate them, listen to it also. But yeah, right now my favorite track is Aquatic Mouth Dance, which is just fun. It's just like kind of the words that Kiedis uses in his lyrics are like, it's like a sexy song, which they have sexy songs in their music a lot, but it's just like, it's just fun to say. It's just like weird. You never see those words, aquatic mouth dance. Come on. I love that. I love it so much.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.